Welcome to Nifty 50 Photographers. In today's video I'm going to go through my dilemma of what camera should I upgrade to. Now if there's any of you out there who are going through the same process, I'd love to hear your feedback, so please put them in the comments. So my situation is this: I currently use an A7 III and I want to upgrade. Now perhaps the obvious thing would be to go to the A7 IV, but I'm actually keen to become a Sony professional user. And to qualify for that, I need at least one professional body. So that has to be an R, an S, or an A1 or an A9. So I've narrowed my choices down to two cameras, the A7R IV or the A7R V. Let me just give you a very quick update for those of you who've seen my last two videos on what's happening with Sony customer service. So they've had my A7 III body for well over a week now. In fact, it arrived with them last Monday. They acknowledged the fact that they got it by Wednesday and said they would email me a quote as soon as they could. So far, it's now Monday the 19th, so I still haven't received a quote. Pretty unlikely that's going to get repaired and back to me before Christmas, but we'll wait and see, and I'll give you an update when I know more from Sony. So you may wonder why I'm still committed to the Sony brand. I do like their cameras, I love the image quality, I've got used to their menu system, and to change now would mean getting either new lenses or a different mount. Frankly, it's prohibitively expensive. So I'm pretty much committed to carry on using that brand. So my choices come down to what is the differences between the R4A and the R5. And I've narrowed it down to some key things, and then it's really about, are those differences worth the difference in cost? Now from my point of view, the difference in cost between the two cameras is about £800. If I look at the list price, currently the R5 is best part of £4,000, and that's not likely to change because it's a new camera. The R4A, however, is coming down in price, and Sony have just offered a £200 cashback. So you can, including the cashback, get those for 2,700 or thereabouts. Talking about UK pounds here. So there is a difference of £1,300. The reason it's less for me is because I've got trade-in and VAT registered, and I can claim that back. So what are the key differences that I'm weighing up? So first of all, one of its video capability. Now, there are a few things that make it worthwhile for me to look at the 5. One is it'll allow me to shoot for more than 30 minutes at 4K. I did a documentary shoot recently, and it was a real pain in the neck that my camera kept shutting down at 30 minutes because it was overheating. The second thing is the AF tracking on the R5 is enhanced over the R4, so that is going to make filming people easier and probably going to produce me some better quality results. It does include focused breathing compensation. Now looking at the reviews I've read, I'm not sure how useful that's going to be. It's going to be very dependent probably on the lens you use, but it's a little advantage. It's not something I'd really pay much for. The other advantage for video, it has active stabilization. Alright, it's going to crop my image, and that's how it's getting the stabilization. But that is also something that would allow me to do some handheld clips. I tend not to do that many of them. I'm usually using a tripod or gimbal. But there are moments where it's just simply more convenient to do it handheld, and you want to create that feeling of being handheld and being more involving the viewer more in the moment. So that's another nice advantage to have. I've looked at lots of reviews and comparisons, and the other things that are swaying me is probably the major one is the screen. And there's a fact on the R5, the screen can tilt into multiple directions. It's a massive advantage. On the 4 it just comes out and tilts up and down, just like it does on my A7 III. And to be honest, that is a bit of a pain, especially when you're doing video, because if you want to film a vlog, for example, you can't see yourself. You have to use an external monitor. I also know from still shooting, I do a lot of property work. I'm sometimes in quite confined spaces trying to get a particular angle, and I want to flip the screen out into another direction so I can see it without getting in the shot and getting my camera in the place that I want it. So that's a big advantage for me. Talking about the screen and the viewfinder, the R5 seems to have a much better viewfinder and screen, and they are both important things that I would like to see. So that's another big tick for the R5. One of the other things I really like is I do quite a lot of low light shooting. AF on the R5 will work down to the equivalent of -4 stops. The R4 is only 3 stops. So that's another advantage. And one of the other things that's really attracted my attention is focus bracketing. Now, I do a little bit of macro work, and I have to say most of the time when I'd use focus bracketing, it would be either for landscapes where you're shooting very wide, or for macro. Both of those I really do more for my own pleasure than for commercial work, but it would be something that I would enjoy using and I think would enhance my photography. Bottom line is, both of these cameras are going to be a big leap up from my A7 III, and on top of that I can say from 10 years of working as a professional, neither of them are going to make a difference to my career. I've never found that my gear has held me back in doing photography work. It's just one of those things that as photographers we like to acquire the latest and greatest. So really it's down to those benefits. Do I think they're worth that extra £800? Right now I'm leaning very much towards the fact that they are. However, I still might delay my decision. Certainly want to get my A7 III back from Sony first and see what that's worth. And I might leave it till the next financial year, till after April. Maybe Sony will do a cashback deal or something and I could get the AR5 at a slightly better price. It's my current thinking. I would love to know what you guys are thinking, whether any of you have made that leap from an A7 III. I think if I was coming from the A7 IV, I probably wouldn't make the leap to an A7 V. But I'd love to hear what other people who are using any of the A7 III models think. Do let me know in the comments. I've got a few other reviews on this channel about Sony equipment and my thoughts on upgrading from the A7 III to the 4. If you want to watch that, I'll put a link to that here. And I look forward to seeing you in the new year.